目とまぶる
What is going on, everybody? It's your guy, Senpai Rai, and the other day I dropped let me catch you up to speed. I dropped a video, a 007 Pulls video, and issued a challenge at the end of it. The winner of the challenge got to pick from 9 different Fest units, whichever one they wanted to see a how to play video similar to my Lady Big. So this is essentially volume 2. And JDM, one of my subscribers, ended up winning with all timestamps correct. And, well, I'm going to say I'll accept 2, but I was really tricky about those, so those were questionable, so you win, buddy. And you chose Goenitz! So, let's show you what the potential best cards, imprint stones, abilities, tactics, and how to use this God of Injustice right now. Let's go, everybody. JD, you won the 007 contest that I put out on that poll video the other day and have selected Goenitz as your choice pick in my how to play video. So let's get that started. 4-star Goenitz coming up right now. And this is everything you need to know about him. Let's go. Alrighty, everybody. Let's begin with Goenitz. Now, he is a very, very potent individual because every single one of his skill sets, his first one, his second one, and his third one are dangerous. Now, his first one again, this one, let's start off. This one sends up a tornado almost instantaneously beneath the feet of the character, pretty much anywhere on the stage. And it also increases the crit rate by 12% for 7 seconds and also disables the target's roll for 3 seconds. Let me show you how to use this one. Okay, everybody. Whenever you use Goenitz's skill 1 and the opponent has super hyper armor, check it out. It holds them in place. Now, on top of holding them in place, as you saw, I lost my roll for about 3 seconds. And essentially, he dumped his skill set and he led with his skill 3 hyper armor before he did anything to protect himself. Now, there you go. And then he used his skill 1 after he popped me up in the air. And he's smart, so now he's popping his wings, making a little bit of distance, and using his skill 2. Now his skill 2 grab increases attack by 28% for 7 seconds, which is amazing. Be careful when using your skill 1 against Lady Kim or Terry, because they have the block into super armor effect. From there, Terry also has his skill 2, which gives damage immunity, so that's homemade hyper armor right there. And since Goenitz puts out a lot of damage, that makes him fantastic. But what makes him not so great is he is also a glass cannon. So, it's a high risk, high reward situation using this character. Now, everybody, let's go over Goenitz's skill 3. I'm going to roll and hit his skill 3 right now. And what it does is gives hyper armor for 3 seconds and deals bleed damage equal to 3% of his attack stat every 1 second for 3 seconds. Also keep in mind that C right there, his 4th and 5th basic attack pick people up from the ground. Now I'm going to lead with my regular 3-tier Epic Quest card, but essentially if you can, use his regular 3-tier because that will buy you more time for your actives to recharge. Very important. Okay. When using Goenitz, it is highly recommended in PvP to start off with his skill 3, his hyper armor moving skill, this one, or his skill 1, this one. And now all his moves combo into each other. But be careful with his skill 2 because if you're too close like that and you try to hit it, it will not land. You need to be about 2 steps away, either walking, making distance, or using his basic attacks because they do tend to move a nice little bit to make the space you need. Okay, everybody, we've covered Goenitz's skill 1 through 3. Now let's cover his cores and show you some tactics. Now, his first core, the head of the 4 Devas, decreases target's attack by 17% for 5 seconds when attacking a bleeding enemy. And keep in mind that his skill 3, the hyper armor skill, deals bleed damage equal to 3% of attack every 1 second for 7 seconds. So his skill 3 inflicts bleed. Now his other notable core is the power of rough wind. That inflicts bleed damage equal to 46% of attack to target every 1 second for 3 seconds when landing a crit. This is why the new Odds of Having Fun set or the Gintama set are ideal for Goenitz. And also his other notable cores, he gets a 30% PG gain, and he has continuous bleed damage equal to 20% more damage on his bleed stat. Now, let's check out how his abilities work. With a 30% PG gain, he, along with Nameless and a Saiki, for instance, have layover PG. What I mean by that is whenever they build up PG, which they do very quickly, and then start firing off super moves and let the super move end. Check this out real fast. See how he waited? That was beautiful. Instead of instantly hitting the skill 2 right there, he waited for a second to make distance whenever he throwed. Now, another good way to do that is popping your wings out and then waiting a half a second before you hit the skill 2 throw. But also, Goenitz is very, very dangerous. Again, all of his skill moves, active skills can, look at this, can combo into each other. Now he's going to wait another second for me to go forward, creating a little bit of distance, and hit his skill 2, because the skill 1, Tornado from the Feet, disabled my roll. So as soon as my feet touched the ground, I could not roll in that instance, and he capitalized over it. Now, since he is a glass cannon and Nameless does not have guard break, he's going to block until he creates another opening. Now, a good way is to wait for your skill 3 and hit it if they're trying to crowd you with basics or to create room and make your openings. Now, he missed his skill 2 because the wall threw him off, but this is essentially how you play Goenitz. And again, remember that his 4th and 5th basic pick people up from the ground. Okay, everybody, let's move right into ideal imprint stones for Goenitz. Now, for the basic plus imprint stones, the circle tier, which again is unlocked at the first awakening, which after you get your character up to level 90, all you have to do is obtain 1 extra memory to unlock this tier. And for this tier, the only 2 basic imprint plus stones that are relatively feasible for Goenitz are the red plus imprint stone, which gives an attack increase by 3% and also decreases burn, poison, or bleed damage received by 9%, helping with his survivability. But this stone is a little bit on the situational side, so we can definitely do better. So the stone that we are going to go with is the circle plus imprint stone. This one right here, because the first ability unlocked at tier level 5 increases the attack and HP by 2%. Which the attack will obviously benefit Goenitz, and the HP increase as well will supplement his survivability. Very important, because again, remember you guys, he is a glass cannon. He puts out a lot of damage, but if he gets comboed the right way, he is very squishy. So this would help with that. And of course, for the second ability unlocked at tier level 7, this one recovers HP by 4% upon landing an active skill as a critical hit when HP is 70% or less. And also keep in mind that he has that core ability to do an additional 46% of his attack into the bleed stat. Keep that in mind, you guys, very important. But of course, this will help his survivability and his attack stat. So again, the circle purple plus imprint stone is the one I'm going to choose for this first slot on Goenitz. This one right here. Alrighty, everybody. Keep in mind that upon beating the Immortal Relay dungeon, you have a chance drop at a few boxes that can open up to give you these specific attack circle plus imprint stones. Now these are locked to a very specific color element right here, and I have more down here. See, the top ones were purple, and these are locked to the red element, but they all essentially do the same thing. They give you, for the first stat, an attack plus 3% boost, which is always nice, and this second stat down here, which is interesting. They will typically give you 2 random dot damage elements to boost their effective abilities with. So for this one, I had no idea that they would add darkness as a potential, so if this was the yellow version, this would work on Saiki. But this is also a damn good stone. You see right here, it's red and it's burn. How many red units have the burn ability? I mean, this would be an ideal stone for K-Dash for the circle slot, because he has 2 of his 3 active skills that give the burn ability. And if I obtained a green imprint stone that was specific to bleed, that would be another really good feasible stone in the circle slot for Goenitz. Okay, so with all that, let's move on to the next tier stone. Come on. Alrighty, everybody. After awakening your character for the second time after awakening a level 10, which requires 1 matching fast memory of said character and 2 matching colored fast memories of that character's type, you can unlock the square tier. This and right here, everybody. And for the square tier, as far as Goenitz is concerned, there are only 3 decent choices when it comes to his imprint stones. So the first feasible one is the red imprint stone. Now this one will give him a 100 increase in penetration, and that is one of his 3 main core affiliated effects, so that will influence him. And it will also increase his, well, the only one that actually coheres to him is the bleed. So it will increase his bleed damage dealt by 8% for 10 seconds upon using an awakened skill right here. So that's a little bit situational. You have to wait till your awakening skill is ready before you pop your wings out. So that's kind of a little bit of a detriment to me personally, because I like constant effects, ones that I can pretty much predict and rely on without having a said time frame, especially a long one at that. So the next potential is the blue square plus right here, and this one gives you a generic 3% increase to attack, which is always nice. Since Goenitz is, again, I'm going to keep saying it, a glass cannon, attack will help him. But his second effect decreases the damage received by 8% for 5 seconds, but again, whenever he uses his awakening skill. Not too much of a fan of that one. Again, it will increase his survivability and give him an attack boost. So again, that is an option. If you want to take this route, absolutely. This, what I'm just putting together for everybody, is my personal humble opinion. Everybody, after I have done a lot of empirical research, and I cross-reference that to how I play as the character that I'm trying to portray, and obviously do a how to play on apparently everybody. So with the 2 honorable mentions out the way, let's choose the yellow imprint plus stone. Yes, the same one as Pretty Zero the other day whenever I put her video together. Now this one is amazing, because think of it like this. One of Goenitz's cores is he automatically gets a plus 30% PG gain, but with this one, at its first awakening level, tier 5, he will gain an additional 3% charge rate to that, which is wonderful, and this will constantly keep improving after you level it up past 5. So every level between 5 and 10, it will gain an effective boost. So the second one of the abilities is this one, and this is where you gain 1% of your PG, of your power, every 1 second, and it is again situational, waiting for your awakening skill. But after you actually hit the awakening skill on your character, it's kind of a fire and forget kind of policy, because no matter what at that point, you're gaining PG for the next 10 seconds. And again, after you get past level 7, it will increase exponentially. So keep that in mind, you guys. So a terrific stone, not only for Goenitz, but for pretty much damn near everybody. For the square Imprint Plus stone, you cannot ever go wrong with a yellow Imprint Plus. So that's the one that we are going to go with. This one right here. And now we're going to mosey along to the Hexagon tier. So let's get moving, y'all. Whenever you awaken your character for the third time, you can now access the Hexagon tier. Now, as far as Goenitz is concerned, there are a lot of different imprint stones in this tier that would benefit him greatly. So I'm just reminding y'all that this is my personal opinion, and I'm putting all the unbiased information out there so that you can choose whichever one you like with the given information. So the 4 potentials are, let's start off with the red plus imprint stone. Now for this one, it gives a generic HP plus 3%, but this next ability is magic. Now this is the one that I chose in my last how to play with a lady big for this specific reason. It decreases the active skill cooldowns by half a second on a sliding scale, and it will become more whenever you land an active skill on a burned, poisoned, or in Goenitz's situation, bleeding enemy with a short 5-second cooldown. Now this is a wonderful little miniature cooldown card that will obviously benefit him, leading into the rest of his actives very quickly. So that's not a bad choice. The next not terrible choice is the purple version of the stone. Now this one at the first level 5, it'll give you a plus 3% attack increase, and the second ability acquired at level 7 will give you an HP recovery of 0.9% every 1 second for 6 seconds when frozen, petrified, with a 10-second cooldown. Now that one again is situational, so you would mainly just be siphoning out the attack version right there of this stone. So not a bad stone either. Now, another really, well, let's just say it's a tie between these next 2 stones. That's the best way I could put it. It depends. This next part is heavily dependent on how you want to run Goenitz, or how you play as a character, or what your focal point of this game is, really. So let me go over the first potential, which is going to be the yellow plus stone. Now this gives the penetration boost plus 100, and one of Goenitz's core effects is penetration, so this will definitely help him with guard break. And also keep in mind that his skill 2 is a throw, so at any time if an opponent is over guarding, you can use the skill 2 to keep them on their toes. So again, that's why Goenitz is such a dangerous force of nature, just because all 3 of his active skills keep people on edge. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you never ran into one in Championship. Stick to PvE is all I'm saying. So the second skill, this one is awesome as well. This one decreases the enemy's defense by 8% for 4 seconds when you land an active. Just when you land an active. That's the only situation. There's next to nothing with a short 10-second cooldown. So this is a phenomenal stone if you're going the PvE route, heavily in the PvE route. This will also benefit you in PvP, but not as much as this next stone. This next stone is the one I chose between this yellow one and, well, the blue one, obviously. Now, this one is like a miniature Shin card. The odds of having fun. Now, I'm gonna get to that in a second, but right here for the first skill, it decreases strike and blast skill. So as long as somebody doesn't hit you with a throw, you're gonna get a nice 5% damage mitigation, which will help with his survivability, because again, he is a glass cannon, everybody. But this second skill is magic. Now, this one is the one I chose because whenever I was thinking hard on the subject, I reminded myself that it wasn't too much of a difficult decision because I'm heavily catered towards PvP. So those of you that enjoy that route more than the PvE route, I would recommend this stone. Now, this stone is the one, again, like the Shin set card, the odds of having fun, because there's a 10% chance to gain super armor for 0.6 seconds when attacked. Not when you're hit by an active, not when this or that nonsense, when you're attacked, when you're being hit. And that will be enough to, if you're in the air, let you sink like a stone to hit the ground, and then your feet are on the ground, you could pop wings or whatever. Or if your feet are already on the ground and you're being comboed, and this procs, you have super armor for a few seconds, you could lead with a skill 3 and all of a sudden you could hide behind your hyper armor and start your combo. This is an excellent disruptor skill right here, you guys. Or you could hit with a skill 1. If they have hyper armor, hit them with a skill 1 when you have the super armor for about half a second. And you saw against Lady Zero and Lady Clone Zero, whenever they were hit by the skill 1 tornado from the ground hold skill, it stopped them in their tracks for about 2 seconds while they had to recover. Now you could use that to get away. There are a lot of things that you can do with this ability. So that is the one that I am choosing. Now, obviously, the yellow one will help with Reliving Hell Dungeon and different relay dungeons and elemental dungeons, what have you. But this one, in my opinion, is the one that I'm going for because, again, I am heavily catered towards PvP. So let's equip all of those said stones to Goenitz and talk about different proper set and option cards. Let's keep going, everybody. Come on. Alrighty, everybody. Let's equip all of the stones that we previously spoke upon. Why? Because they're effing amazing! Now, again, the first purple one, you see it gives an attack and HP increase by 3.2%, and at the next level, it will gain about 0.5%, leading it up to 3.5. Now for the second effect, you see it recovers HP by 4%, and at the next level it jumps up to 5%, and that's with a 15% cooldown when your HP is 70% or less. And Goenitz is heavily built upon his critting, so he will pretty much always gain health. Now for the second stone, the square stone. This is the one for the first ability where you have a PG gain by 5%, and you gain 1% every level. For the second ability at level 7, you gain power by 1% every 1 second for 10 seconds, and it doubles to 2% at the next level. And as you see, we can still, till this point in time, it's killing me, equip only one stone. Well, you could equip as many as you want to per character, but you cannot unequip them, or you can unequip them. You just can't put them on different characters, is what I'm trying to say in a nutshell. Now for the Hexagon slot. Let's again go with the blue stone just because. You see strike and blast skill damage received decreased by 9%. So pretty much anything but a throw. And the second ability again is like the Shin set, the odds of having fun, where there's a 10% chance just being attacked of gaining super armor for 0.6 seconds. And at the next level it jumps up to 0.9. And again, after I equip this, I cannot equip it to anybody else but Goenitz, and there you have it. But also, this stone is amazing because there's a 10% chance after you get hit to fall, sink like a stone, and just, if you're being comboed, to get out of it, and you or possibly use your hyper armor skill 3, your skill 1 hold if they have hyper armor, super armor, or just grab them with a skill 2 throw. There's so many good options, and with this specific setup, I have about 41,000 CP, and these are my stats for Goenitz. Now, let's dive right into the last segment of this video and speak on which set cards and option cards are ideal for this goddamn force of nature right here, known as Goenitz. Now, you can run with Goenitz in a few different ways. How I usually like to run him in PvP is typically with the odds of having fun set. And as you see, for the first card, it gives a 7% attack boost. The second card gives, this one that's not leveled. The second card gives a defense boost by 7%, and the third card gives a crit rate boost by 3.5%. And the shared ability increases the attack by 7%, increases defense by 7%, and there's a 70% additional damage upon landing a crit hit. And of course, with this, Goenitz is going to have an extremely high success rate to crit. I mean, whenever you see his skill 1, all you're gonna see is a tornado if it lands, followed by crit, 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 crit above the enemy's head. It's a wonderful sight to see. And there's also a 30% chance to gain super armor for 2 seconds when receiving a critical hit in return. Now, this paired with the water hexagon stone will be absolutely devastating to the opponent. Whenever, in their mind, they know that Goenitz has no way of getting out of a slew of, say, 3 or 4 actives, say if one of them even has a reset, and either this set bonus procs or the water hexagon procs, giving you a few seconds of space with your super armor, allowing you to either use a skill 1, 2, or 3. Any one of Goenitz's skills are devastating. Keep that in mind. So me personally, this is one of my favorite sets I like to use on him. Now, the other really, really good set focused around DPS is, of course, the gintama set. Now, this is a phenomenal set card because, as you see, each set card gives you a 7 or plus 7% attack increase, 7, 14, 21, and the set bonus is very simple, not very wordy at all. It increases burn or bleed damage, cough, cough, bleed, obviously, by 75%, and active skill damage by 20%. So this is phenomenal, especially if you're running PvE on pretty much anybody that has bleed or burn, because after you hit your active skills in PvE, you just spam all the actives. It's crazy. So this is a phenomenal one, but keep in mind that it does not boost his super moves. Now, I know that the gintama set came from the event, and the event has passed. So let's talk about some other types of sets that absolutely benefit Goenitz. Now, you can always go with a light and dark if you wanted to go a little bit, if you're a little bit of an older player, and you just want the general stat boosts overall. And as you see, each one again has the plus 7% attack, so 7, 14, 21, and the shared ability increases attack by an additional 10%, so that's 31 total. And there's a 15% chance to gain super armor for 3 seconds upon a successful attack. So this is kind of almost the inverse of the odds of having fun set, to where you have to be the one landing the attacks and not receiving crits as far as that is concerned. Now, this is another nice set to have, and as you see, the CP is about close to 43,000 for this set. But if you wanted to go a little bit more free to play, let's go with the let's go with an ancient set. Now, this set has been available for quite some time, but as you see, let's go back to check the CP. It actually gives a pretty damn decent amount of CP right here, you guys, and that is simple. The reasoning why is because the effect bonus is crazy, but let's go over the cards first. Now, the first card gives an attack bonus by 5%, the second one gives a crit rate boost by 2%, and the third one gives an increase in critical damage by 12%. Now, for the Mad Tea Party set bonus, it increases crit rate by 8%, which is phenomenal, along with the crit damage boost and the attack boost and the crit rate. I mean, come on, do the math, you guys. And it deals additional damage equal to 220% of the attack stat whenever you land a critical hit, which, whenever I ran with Goenitz in PvP and Championship not too long ago, this used to be one of my favorite sets. Obviously, if I had the Tekken set, that would be one of the other ideal sets to slap on Goenitz, but the mass majority of people do not have that set because the Tekken set came out even a little bit before my time, you guys. So that's why I won't speak on that one too much. I just want to get most of the sets that are applicable to Goenitz, and also just show you what some decent combinations are that would be feasible to the general public, the mass majority of the players involved that are trying to get good with this individual. So as you see with this set, my crit rate is over 25%. That's insanity, you guys. And again, his skill 1 hits a lot, so keep that in mind. Now, for obviously the final set that we were kind of considering for Goenitz, let's go with the Ryugo set. Now, Goenitz really doesn't need guard break because his skill 2 is a throw and he could catch him if they're guarding, and also he creates his own openings, especially with the way he's built. Again, with if I were to go in with a shin set, or even if I didn't use the shin set, I would still get that potential with my water Hexagon. That's why I chose that one, even though he may suffer for it a little bit in PvE. Again, I'm more of a PvP style player, and I'm proud to say that. From everything that I am, I'm proud to say that. So with this set right here, he will have about 42,000 CP, and essentially, just a refresher, I'm sure that most of you already know, each Ryugo set gives plus 7% attack, as you see, and the affected bonus is where it increases HP by 20%, and there's a 10% chance to ignore target's guard upon landing an active skill, and it decreases target's attack by 20% for 10 seconds when attacked. So overall, this is a phenomenal card. I can't convince anybody out of this one because personally, this is my favorite card set. But if I were to go in with Goenitz, I would go in with either the gintama set here at number 11 or 12, or I would go in with the shin set right here, the odds of having fun. And of course, you can supplement the obviously the different cooldown cards to whatever you have available, whether you have the Maxima cooldown card, a tactical retreat, or the K-Kula defense cooldown card. Those will work fine as well. So this will be pretty much everything you guys need to get good with Goenitz. So I think I might end the video at this time, everybody. Once again, shout out JD. This video was for you, buddy. I really appreciate your participation along with everybody else's participation in my 007 pull style video the other day. If you have enjoyed my content, please like and subscribe. And if you really enjoyed my content and you want to actually have some kind of serious influence on putting out more videos like this, because these are the hardest videos to put together, everybody. Just telling y'all that. This took almost an entire day to put together because I wanted it to come out in its best way. That way it could just educate as many people as possible. That way we will have more tyrants of battle out there. So again, this has been your guy, Senpai Rai, and I'm out of here, everybody. Make sure to check me out on patreon.com/YTSenpaiRai. And until Volume 3 comes out, I'm sure I'll come up with some clever way to introduce some, I don't know. It's going to be a while till Volume 3 on the how to play videos come out because I wasted crazy time and resources making this video. So I hope that y'all have enjoyed once again, and I'm out of here, you guys. Peace.